The cold morning air hit Adam's face like a slap, his breath puffed out in clouds, the sharp chill biting at his skin as he glanced at the rundown bus stop in front of him. The world around him seemed to move in slow motion, people rushing cars, honking the bus lumbering down the street, but Adam couldn't feel any of it. All he could feel was the gnawing emptiness in his stomach and the even worse emptiness in his heart. Is everything gonna be okay, Dad? His daughter Emily asked. Her small hand was wrapped tightly around his finger, her innocent eyes searching his face for a sign, a promise, anything to reassure her that everything would be all right. Adam swallowed hard. He tried to smile, but the weight of the world made it impossible to hide the truth. It had been months since he'd had a good night's sleep, months since he'd been able to tell Emily the things she longed to hear, months of late-night bills piling up, overdue notices, and yet here they were waiting for a bus. With the world crumbling around them, he forced a smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. Of course, kiddo, everything's going to be fine, he said it, but he didn't believe it. Not today, not with what was in his pocket. Adam reached into his worn-out jacket, the one that had seen better days, just like him. His fingers brushed against the edges of the thin leather wallet he carried. He hadn't had time to properly look at it in weeks, but now he realized there was only a single crumpled bill inside. A single crumpled dollar, the last of his savings, and it wasn't for him, it was for Emily. She didn't know that. She didn't know he had spent every last cent just to make sure she was fed, that she had everything she needed, even if it meant going without himself. He glanced down at her face. She was smiling, her eyes wide with trust, her whole world still so pure, untouched by the weight of adult responsibility. She trusted him, she depended on him, but what could he give her now? A smile and a promise that he had no idea how to keep. Dad, do you think the rain's going to stop soon? Emily asked, breaking the silence. Adam looked up. The sky above them had gone from blue to a dull gray, and the air felt heavier, but rain wasn't the only storm threatening them today. Well, be okay, he said again, but it wasn't meant for her, it was for him. He needed to believe that, even if deep down he knew he was running on empty. Cut to the outside of the bus stop, the camera pulling back to show the scene unfolding in real time. A car screeched to a halt at the red light in front of them, its wheels spinning slightly before it came to a stop. A woman stepped out. Her coat was pristine, her heels clicking against the pavement as she walked past them. She didn't glance their way, didn't spare a second to notice the man standing there trying to hold it all together. But Adam noticed her. He always noticed people like her, people who had what he once dreamed of: stability, a life free from the daily struggle to make ends meet, a life where a $1 bill didn't carry the weight of 1,000 burdens. Emily tugged at his sleeve. Dad, what's her name? Adam blinked, pulled out of his thoughts, and looked at her. The woman was now stepping into the corner store just a few steps away from them, not glancing back, not even acknowledging their presence. Her name? Adam repeated, a little confused. I don't know, honey. I don't think it matters. He gave a weak smile, and Emily smiled back. The bell above the door of the convenience store chimed softly as the woman entered. She immediately made her way to the counter, picked up a few items, water, chips, and some snacks, and placed them on the counter. Adam couldn't help but watch, but when the woman took out her wallet, Adam's eyes went straight to the few bills she was pulling out. The sight of her neatly organized purse, her carefree attitude, was like a slap in his face. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that right then his stomach growled. He looked down at Emily. She was standing still, now staring at the doors of the store, but Adam could see her eyes shifting to the side, looking at something or someone. His heart sank as she tugged on his jacket sleeve. Dad, I'm hungry. Cue the emotional music, quiet yet haunting as Adam looks around at the surroundings. The store is just a few feet away, but the distance feels unbearable. Now what could he do? He had $1 left, and here was this woman, an absolute stranger, with more than she needed, but more than that. He couldn't just let Emily see him fail. He stepped forward. Without thinking, he walked towards the counter, approached the woman. As she finished paying, her hand was about to grab the bag, but some silent understanding caught her attention. She looked up at him. The sudden eye contact felt like time froze. It was as if she could see right through him, through the facade he built for the past 7 years. She didn't look at him with judgment. No, it was something else, something deeper, a kind of empathy. Can I help you? She asked. Adam's words caught in his throat. But then, without even realizing it, he pulled out that single crumpled dollar, his last dollar. He handed it to Harry. No, it's not much, but could you get something for my daughter? She's hungry. Her gaze shifted from the dollar to his face a moment past another one. He felt the sting of humiliation creep in, but then unexpectedly the woman smiled she didn't take the dollar instead. She shook her head softly, still smiling as she reached into her own wallet. "You keep it," she said, her voice quiet but her eyes kind. "You need it more than I do?" Adam stood frozen, his hand still extended, that crumpled dollar bill caught between his fingers like it might disappear in the wind, but it didn't. The woman's smile stayed warm and unhurried, her eyes steady. It was a moment he would never forget, a moment when he wasn't seen as a failure, just another man doing the best he could for his child. He withdrew his hand slowly, not understanding why this simple gesture felt like such a profound relief. She wasn't taking pity on him. She wasn't offering charity. No, this was something else. It was an understanding, a quiet solidarity, and it was enough to make Adam's heart flutter with an unexpected hope. She spoke again, her voice soft, almost a whisper. "I've been there before," she said, "and I know what it's like when you're doing everything you can, and it still doesn't feel like enough." The words hit him harder than any insult ever could. How did she know? What made her say that? Looked at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of confusion and gratitude. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. Instead, his throat tightened as a lump formed, one he had been holding back for years. I don't know how to thank you," he said, his voice shaking. She simply nodded. "You don't have to," she replied. "Just take care of that little girl." Before he could respond, she turned and walked toward the door, leaving Adam standing there, holding nothing but a sense of warmth and a renewed sense of purpose. The scene cuts to the bus stop again, where Emily is now playing with a small stick, drawing shapes in the dirt. The bus will be here soon, but for now Adam's thoughts are far away. He watches her small figure so full of innocence and hope his heart aches. He approaches her slowly, sitting down beside her on the curb. The weight of what just happened still hangs in the air, but Adam feels lighter somehow. He doesn't know why, but he feels like he's just been given something more important than money. "Hope, hey kiddo," Adam says, his voice breaking the silence. Emily looks up, her face lighting up with her usual innocent smile. "Are we going to eat now?" Dead Adam smiles at her, a genuine smile, this time the first real smile in days. He takes a deep breath, and for the first time in a long while he feels like he has something solid to hold on to. He reaches into his pocket once again, pulling out that crumpled dollar. "Guess what?" Emmy says, his voice full of warmth. "We're going to be okay." And I think I know exactly how. The bus pulls up just then, and they climb aboard, the sound of the doors hissing open like an invitation to something new. The world outside remains indifferent to their journey, but inside everything feels different. The scene transitions to later that day, the two of them sitting in a small cafe enjoying sandwiches. That cost more than Adam had expected to spend, but he didn't care. Today wasn't about rationing pennies or scraping by. Today was about living, about taking what little they had and making the most of. I'd watches Emily eat, her eyes so focused on the food in front of her. He notices the way her fingers grip the sandwich, the way she chews with an innocence that makes his heart ache. This was his little girl, and he would do anything to keep her safe and happy. But today he felt like he was doing the right thing. The waitress approaches, smiling warmly. She sets down a coffee cup in front of Adam. But there's something different about the way she's looking at him. "Excuse me, sir," she says hesitantly. Adam looks up at her. "Yes." "Someone in the back who asked if you'd join her," she says, glancing over her shoulder as if to make sure she's not interrupting something. Adam raises an eyebrow. "Join her?" The waitress nods. "Yes, she's been watching you for a while now," she insisted. "I'm paying for your meal," she said. It's the least she could do. Adam's heart skips a beat. He doesn't understand. He was just being a father, doing the best he could, and yet someone noticed. Someone saw something in him. The waitress gestures toward the back, where a woman sits at a corner table. Adam's heart races as he stands up slowly, still unsure of what's going on. "Thank you," he tells the waitress before walking toward the table in the back. As he approaches, the woman looks up. It's her, the woman from the convenience store, the one who had offered him kindness when he thought there was none left in the world. She smiles at him warmly, and Adam feels the weight of the day lift once again. "You didn't have to do this," Adam says, his voice full of disbelief. The woman laughs softly, shaking her head. "I think you misunderstood. I didn't do this for you. I did it for her." She gestures toward Emily, who's now eating her sandwich with a grin that stretches from ear to ear. Adam sits down, still stunned. His mind is racing. What was happening? Why was this stranger doing this for him, for Emily? "You see," the woman Continues, I used to be in your shoes a long time ago. I had a daughter of my own. And I remember the struggles, the exhaustion, the feeling like I wasn't enough. So when I saw you, when I saw the way you took care of her, it hit me. Adam is speechless. He doesn't know what to say. She continues, her eyes soft but firm. I want you to know you're doing an amazing job. And today I'm just returning the favor. Someone did this for me once. Adam feels the weight of her words, the sincerity, the love. Behind them, he feels the tears welling up in his eyes, but he holds them back, not wanting to break down in front of this woman. He doesn't even know, but this is exactly what he needed to hear. You're not alone. She says, her voice strong, but filled with a quiet compassion. You're never alone. As the scene fades, Adam looks across the table at Emily, who's now happily sipping her drink, oblivious to everything but her sandwich. He smiles to himself, the warmth of the moment wrapping around him like a blanket. For the first time in a long while, Adam feels a spark of something real, hope. Hope that, despite all the struggles, despite all the hardships, maybe, just maybe, there was a way through, and that single act of kindness, a woman paying for their meal, had reminded him that there was still good in the world, there was still love, and as long as he had Emily by his side, he knew they would be okay. If you've ever felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders, just remember, you're not alone. There's always someone somewhere who sees you, who understands, and who is ready to lend a hand when you need it most. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps spread hope and kindness to those who need it most. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could change your life.